right, hello and welcome to Sacred Sobriety, a path for the soul. What I have here for you today is a bit different. I have been putting together a series of sessions with regards to specific, simple, and yet powerful cognitive behavior therapeutic tools that may help you in relationship to managing difficulties in your life, especially as Christians when we're facing uh when we feel like we're burned out or we're struggling with something in our lives. Um, these are simple yet profound tools. Now, mind you, I want to give you this disclaimer. This is for personal enrichment, education, personal empowerment. It's not here. I'm not here to give you therapeutic or professional advice. These are tools that are very effective that you can find in any, self-help books and things like that. But these are tools that have been put together that were taught to me, tools that I've used, continue to use to this day in my life, to help me manage and take responsibility to be ever responsive rather than reactive to things that happen, whether it's what somebody may have said, things that are happening that are beyond out of my control. It's basically taking responsibility for how I either react or respond to those. And so this first session is basically going to focus on the have list. And so bear with me because I'm going to throw some information out to you. Very simple, very powerful tool. And it is effective when you actually get your mindset right and you put to work these things that are going to help you. And so let's go over what this is all about. It is a simple strategy. It is a simple strategy to develop mindfulness. It is a simple strategy to develop awareness. It is a simple strategy to become aware of how you are responding and reacting to things that are happening outside of you. And the reason why I say that is because what is happening outside of us are what we refer to as stressors, and what is happening within us is what we refer to as stress. People don't stress us out. Things don't stress us out. It's how we are responding to the people, places, things, and events that are causing us to experience stress, whether it's good stress, whether it's bad stress. It's how we either react or respond to it. And so, what this does is it allows you to develop this simple strategy to become aware of those things that are happening and then be able to better manage and learn to move away from reactive to being responsive in relationship to that. And so, as you will see, and as you will find, is that this is going to help you grow and help you manage things better in your life. Now, here's a quote from Goldie Hawn. Quote, mindful awareness is simply paying attention to what is happening now and doing nothing other than living in the moment for a few minutes. We can let thoughts and feelings come and go without holding on to them or judging them. Now, if you're not familiar with who Goldie Hawn is, Goldie Hawn is a very famous actress. And my favorite movie that she has starred in is there's actually a couple of them, Private Benjamin and the original Overboard with uh, Kirk Douglas. I know they did a newer remake of that, but they do mention that in the movie where they harken back to the original movie with Goldie Hawn. And so this is a wonderful quote. This is a wonderful starting point with that. And so what I want to do is draw your attention to some key things in relationship to this. So here's the mission that I have envisioned for Sacred Sobriety, a path for the soul. My desire is to help individuals to better manage their thoughts, better manage their lives, better manage stress from a Christian and biblical worldview and perspective in order to unlock stronger versions of themselves with simple, easy to use CBT techniques and tools. because what this does is it reveals key points to help managing stress in our lives and to overcome any confusion that may be caused because of the stress we are experiencing, or confusion that may cause us consternation or frustration, or where we feel despaired, or being able to deal with the anxieties in life. Because stress causes anxiety, stress can cause depression. A lot of it comes down to how we either react or respond to stress. And so, as Christians, we want to be able to move out of having a sense of fear and doubt and move into knowing that we are able to grow and prosper and live life more abundantly that Christ promises. And it also allows us to experience a peace of mind. It also allows us to take captive every thought and bring it into obedience to the word of God. And so revealing key points to help manage stress and overcome confusion with a simple have list takes mere minutes and offers a lifetime of clarity and mindfulness. Now, a lot of times, and people will say, well, I want a stress free life. Let me tell you, there is not any single person that has lived or is living or ever will live that will truly experience a stress free life. We are going to have stress in life. We are going to experience stress in life. You experience stress in life when you get a new job. You experience stress in life during certain life transitions when you're graduating from high school or you have to go back to school. You have stress when it comes to starting a new job. You have stress when you lose a job. You have stress when people leave your life. You have stress in choosing which church to attend. You have stress when you are called into ministry or have to give a calling, or you want to venture out and start doing a podcast and YouTube channel. These, every, anything that you could think of is going to bring stress into your life. And really, stress is all about how we're going to respond to that or how we're going to react to that. And it's about either responding or reacting to people, places, things, or events. And so we want to be able to become aware of not only how we are responding or reacting, we want to be aware of what is causing us to experience stress so that we can better choose to be responsive rather than we can choose to be reactive. And this it starts with this very simple tool. And so what is the have list? It is a quick journaling method that sharpens our awareness of our thoughts and our feelings associated with what is happening outside of us, what's happening outside of our control. Because really, you want to get right down to what stress management is all about is learning how to manage our emotions in a healthy way so that we can become more responsive than we are reactive or having a knee-jerk reaction. And so, really, the overall question for you to think about is what does your personal have list reveal about you? Does it reveal that you are more prone to being reactive? For instance, things are done not the way you expect them to do, or somebody says something that you find offensive or violates some sense of justice, and so you react in a way that you become angry, um, or somebody says something that causes you to experience a sense of being offended or violates a certain um, boundary and causes you to feel weighted, depressed, or feeling despair. So it is to uncover what your personal have list has to reveal for you. And always go to prayer, always ask the Holy Spirit how, but what you want to do in conjunction with that is actively write this down. And I will explain the reason for that. So let's get into further understanding what the have list is. One, it begins by developing mindfulness because mindfulness is about being aware of the present moment. It means being aware of our present thoughts, being aware of how those thoughts eh, cause us to have the feelings that we have. And it is, and as those feelings are associated with these thoughts, it gives us permission to either react or respond. The next thing is that it's a quick journaling method. By jotting down what you have, this method encourages you to develop awareness and allows you to develop mindfulness and focus, bringing to attention, bringing to awareness of what is happening outside of you and how you're responding to that. And really, it is just writing it down throughout the day. Now, I recommend that you do this by physically writing it down. If you try to keep mental notes to start with, it's going to be a little bit cumbersome. And one of the reasons why you want to write it down for the next 4 to 6 weeks is so you can begin seeing those patterns over time. And then I'll guarantee you within 4 to 6 weeks, you are going to start keeping mental notes of that, but you still want to keep it writing it down. And then over time, the foundational discipline that takes approximately 4 to 6 weeks to develop, over time, this practice may transform emotional habits and improve how you are able to handle daily stress. It's an easy way to keep track of the positives and tune into those emotional patterns. And so, as you are doing this, as you are engaging in this, you're going to start discovering things for yourself that you may not have been aware of. And so, how does this help you? Well, here's a tip. Focus on writing out your have list every day for 4 to 6 weeks. I can't stress enough the importance of writing this down throughout the day. Get a notebook, go to the dollar store, get a notebook, get a pen, write it down, keep track of it, and you'll be able to discover what it has. So, the focus and objective of the have list by writing out the have list daily for the next 4 to 6 weeks may boost your awareness and sharpen your focus. It allows you to see the small things happening each and every single day, and it helps you handle minor stressors a lot more easily than the larger ones. Plus, it's a simple way to track your progress as you build this basic discipline. By committing to this routine, you're going to gain clarity, you're going to gain ability to manage and control things a lot better when you deal with stress in your life, making each day feel a bit more manageable and rewarding for you. So why not give it a try and notice how it may start changing your approach to everyday life? So as we continue, let's look at the 5 basic strategies, the have list strategies, and following these 5 basic steps. First, you write down simple statements based on facts that have happened to you throughout the day. Next to each statement, is that you're going to start numbering them on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being the least amount of stress, 5 being the moderate amount of stress, and 10 being the more significant amount of stress. The third step is to circle the numbers of those statements you have rated 1 to 4 as being the least amount of stress. The fourth step is to cross off all those statements you rate 5 to 10 as being moderate to significant amount of stress. Now, before you say, wait a minute, why do I want to cross off the ones that are causing the most significant stress in my life? I want to be able to pay attention to those. I want to be able to deal with those and manage those. Well, here's the thing. We got to start small. We got to focus on learning how to manage the little ones because I guarantee you, when you start learning how to manage the little ones within the next 4 to 6 weeks by writing things down, you then are able to focus on and reduce the more significant amount of stresses to th- those 4 or below. Turn those major stressors, those moderate stressors, into manageable stresses that you can deal with over time. And then 5, it is best to complete this throughout the day. I recommend doing it throughout the day when you have a moment, when you have a break, and you want to catch your breath. And as you do it throughout the day, you will begin to see what is happening. However, you may want to do this in the evening. Do this 4 to 6 weeks. One of the things that I have found helpful too, as well, is as I do this throughout the day, I don't have a whole lot of things on my mind when I go to lay down to sleep. I'm not wrestling with the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I'm not wrestling with the train of thoughts that run through my mind about the things that happen throughout the day because I'm already taking account of that. And that's one of the other powerful aspects of keeping this have list on a daily basis is so that you can then free your mind from these thoughts that seem to weigh us down a lot. And as you do that, you're going to discover everything is manageable. Because here's the reality, folks. Here's the fact. Every one of us experiences stress throughout the day. How we either react or respond makes a profound difference. Stress is our eternal response to external factors that are based on people, places, things, or events. And so, as we look at this, as we understand this, we are responding to the things that are happening to us. And here's how it operates. Somebody says something, our thought process kicks in, feelings are attached to those thought processes, and then our body naturally responds in relationship to that. And then it motivates our behavior. We act in relationship to that. So, for instance, somebody walks up and pats you on the back and says, I want to tell you how much of a good job that you're doing and how much I appreciate you. Immediately, you're thinking in your mind, maybe you're thinking in your mind, I am doing a good job. I really do feel valued. My boss appreciates me. My coworker appreciates me. My efforts are paying off. Your body's relaxed. You smile, naturally smile, and it's not forced. And so your body has a physiological response to it. And then most likely you're going to respond in relationship to that. You're going to react in relationship to that. Thank you. I appreciate you taking notice of that. I appreciate you thanking me. Whereas, let's put it on the flip side of the coin. You go into work, you're doing everything you can, you're working hard, you're meeting whatever deadlines you need to meet, whatever your job is, and I used to work in retail, I used to do all kinds of work, and you have a bad customer after bad customer after bad customer, and then you have your boss getting onto you. And so you're just like, man, I just wish these customers would go away. A customer's complaining about something. It's like, will you just shut up? And you're thinking that in your mind, right? So it's causing stress. So your body starts tensing up, naturally tenses up. Maybe you're rolling your eyes at them and you don't realize you're rolling their eyes. Or you get that shit eating grin on your face, like, and you're thinking, you're so glad that I have to listen to this. um, and so, and then sometimes we react out of that. Take, for instance, there was an incident when I was working at a retail store and I was trying to, um, because there's a lot of theft going on in a lot of retail stores and it's quite problematic. And one of the things as a cashier, I want to make sure that they have a receipt. And I asked the gal for the receipt, and unbeknownst to me, my manager was standing behind me. And as I was looking at the receipt, she grabbed it and jerked it out of my hand. And I looked up at her and I responded. I almost wanted to react. And I guess I kind of reacted and responded at the same time. And I basically just says that was quite rude to grab something right out of my hand. What I'm attempting to do is verify that you actually did purchase this. So may I please have the receipt back so I can look at and verify that you actually did purchase the items you said that you purchased and that this is a valid receipt. Okay. Now, in my mind, I was thinking, how dare you do that? What right do you have doing that? So my behavior did not match up with the way I was thinking because I actually wanted to respond more assertively and letting know that there was a boundary violated. How I was able to help her. Now, if I was not being responsive, I was more prone to being reactive, I would have gotten angry. And yes, I was angry, I was upset, I was frustrated. And if I reacted out of that, it would have probably sounded something like this. You know what? You're just a rude individual. So I'm calling her rude as opposed to, obs- you know, saying that the behavior was rude. because we remember when I said that was rude of you, I'm not saying that she was being rude. I was saying that her behavior was rude. Whereas if I was angry, and I was upset and frustrated, and if I reacted out of that anger and I said, "You are such a rude, inconsiderate individual." Now I'm putting her down. Now I'm judging and condemning her. And so that's what I'm talking about is we're either reacting or we are responding. And this is how these tools help us in addressing the we way of what we feel and compare. Because I'm okay with how I feel, but I'm not okay with how I behave if I react rather than respond. And I did not get in trouble. I did not get counseling. I did not get coached. And I'm sure that my manager would have had every right to coach and instruct me. Now, let me give you another example. Years ago, I was working as a wireless data tech support. This is before the Android and the iPhones. This is when the smartphones were first coming out. This is when Wi-Fi was getting uh, pushed out. And I worked with a major wireless carrier, and I worked in the wireless data technical support. And and it was when, the PCMIA cards before laptops had the internal Wi-Fi connection. They had PCMIA cards that you had to stick in the slot and open up the antenna. And my job was when somebody called in, they got a new BlackBerry device and they want to sync their emails and Outlook to it. And so we provided a whole range of it. We also got customers who were calling in because they needed replacement phones. And I got this one call, and this gal on the phone, it was like a 45-minute call because I was doing everything I can, showing empathy, showing compassion, and it happened to be a call my supervisor was monitoring at the time. And and I was just relaxed. I was doing the best I could. And this is before I learned about mindfulness and being in CBT and cognitive behavior therapy and everything else like that. And I was getting frustrated, but I did not want, and I was doing my best to hold my tongue. I was doing my best to bite my tongue. You've ever been in that situation where somebody's saying something, they're finding every single button to push? Because my favorite line from Roadhouse, the original Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze, where he says it's two nouns put together to explicit a prescribed response. A lot of times people will say things to get our goat, to get us to respond, because they're looking for a prescribed response. And when you don't give them that prescribed response, when you don't react in the way that they believe that you're going to react, it throws them off. It really does. And they don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to respond or react to that. And so this customer was getting my goat, and she didn't qualify for any new phone. She didn't qualify for an upgrade, nothing. And she finally turned around and she says, "You need to quit being a corporate monkey. You need to grab yourself like you have a pair and give me a free phone." I sat up straight in my chair and I says, "Here's me showing you that I'm not a corporate monkey. You don't deserve a free phone. You're an entitled princess, and I'm done with this call. If you don't like it, go and take your business elsewhere. And you have a very nice day. Thank you for calling." And I disconnected the call. My supervisor ran over to me. He was hysterically laughing, shaking his head. And he sat down and he says, "I was listening to that. You were doing fine. She was getting to you, and she finally got to you. And you cannot respond to customers that way." And I go, "I know. I just got to the end of my rope. I got to my end of my patience." That's the thing. Now, if I had gotten that call, if I was still working in that environment and I gotten that same call, I probably would have said something a lot different. Say, "You know what, ma'am? I have done everything I can to help you. There really is nothing to do. And the reality is it's not about me being a corporate monkey. It's me being able to provide the best service I can. And if that's not something that you feel that you have gotten from me today, you are more than welcome to go into any of our stores. You're more than welcome to pursue other avenues. We'd be more than happy to assist you. However, with our policies and procedures, at this time, you don't qualify. And you have every right to be upset and complain. And we welcome your feedback. Is there anything else I can help you with? What the outcome would be, I don't know. I'm just creating a hypothetical situation based on that call on how I may have responded differently to that. And so what I'm saying here is that we experience stress every single day, whether good stress, whether bad stress. People will want to get our goat. People will say things to see how we react. People will do things to see how we react. Things will happen and we either react or respond to them that are out of our control. And so stress is our eternal response to external factors that are based on people, places, things, and events. Now, what does this mean? Let's go further into it. And here's the reason why you want to write down just the facts and stick with the facts. And let me give you an example on how to apply this into your life. One, it begins with telegraphic writing. You want to write down simple statements based on the facts that have happened to you throughout the day. For example, woke up late, woke up tired, didn't have time for breakfast, didn't have time for a shower, had to rush out the door, didn't have time to fix something for lunch, didn't have money for lunch, traffic was backed up. All of that within maybe 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, maybe within an hour of waking up. Okay, that's just kind of a snapshot for just that 1 hour. Now, there's probably a lot of other things that have gone on, but let's say that this individual, these are the things that they wrote down when they got to the office or got to work, and they're able to catch their breath and 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 doing this. And what does it mean by telegraphic writing? Well, think back in the times when telegrams was the main form of communication. When people wanted to send a telegram, it wasn't a long text message. I think a lot of times now we're getting back to that telegraphic writing through text messages, where it's like, "Hey, are you up? I have a question." That's telegraphic writing. "Hey, what are you doing at the moment? Are you busy?" And so telegraphic means that we're writing these things down. Woke up late, woke up tired, didn't have time for breakfast. We stick to the facts. My alarm didn't go off, so I woke up late. No, you don't want to, you don't, there's no storytelling, there's no excuse making, there's no justifying, there's none of that. It's simple, straight facts. Keep to the facts. Next, you want to rate your list. As I stated, you want to rate your list from 1 to 10 because it helps you see a snapshot of those stress levels that you're dealing with. So, for example, this person may have rated their stress level as 6, 7, 7, 4, 4, 8, 8, 2. And then the next step is you go in and you circle all the ones that are 4 or below because those are the minor stresses. And then you go and cross off the ones that are more significant. Now, this is where the question arises. How come you want to cross off the ones that cause significant stress in your life? Well, here's the thing. When we start becoming aware of the more of the minor things going on, because we tend to pay attention to the greater things that are causing stress in our lives, we then are able to see a change in how we manage and deal with those greater stresses in life will become manageable. Okay. And so what I'm saying here is, do I have control over waking up late? Yes, I can set my alarm. I can wake up. But let's say things just happen and it is what it is. Power went out and you woke up late. Or you were so tired that you went to set your alarm and you're supposed to get set it for 5 a.m. and you set it for 5 p.m. I've done that and I woke up late. Maybe you just woke up tired. It's not an issue of you waking up late. Maybe you woke up tired because you had something going on the night before. Maybe you were up late because you were with a sick child. Maybe you were up late because you had to cram for a test in the morning. And so it causes stress. You didn't have time for breakfast. You didn't even have time to stop for breakfast. Or you realized that because you didn't have money for lunch, you didn't have time to get that. And haven't have time for a shower. Well, we can go a couple days without showering. I usually don't try to go more than 2 days without showering because by the third day I can really, smell myself and I don't like that. But if you missed a shower for a day, no big deal. It's not the end of the world. It is what it is. And so it's not that stressful. You had to rush out the door. Again, you realize that because you woke up late and you're tired and you didn't have time for breakfast, you had to get out the door. You had to be on your way. And so you might have some stress leaving, but you're not that stressed out. You realize that you didn't have time to fix something for lunch because you get in the car and you're rushing. It's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to grab my lunch, or I forgot to fix lunch. You didn't have money for lunch. You realize that you're tapped out. You don't have cash on hand. Maybe you left your wallet at home. I've done that before. Now, maybe you're asking yourself why traffic being backed up as a minor stress. Well, here's the thing. For me and where I live, I'm in the greater Seattle area. If you know you're going to be late and you know the traffic around here, yeah, you're going to experience stress, but it's not because you realize that if you had woken up on time and you were able to get the rest that you need and have time for breakfast, have time to get ready, have time to get out the door where you're not rushing, you're you're most likely not going to be caught up in traffic. And if you get caught up in traffic, you have plenty of time to get to work. And but stressing about being late for work. And so maybe it might be up there to a 5, 6, or 7. It just depends on the type of person. This is just to give you an example of what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, developing a daily discipline by writing out the daily have list is to do this throughout the day because you want to do this where you are writing it out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Because as you write it out, you begin to start uncovering those patterns. It's not about what is happening outside of you. It's not about how stressful it is or how less stressful it is for you. It's about being aware of these patterns that are happening. For instance, if you're consistently waking up late, if you're consistently waking up tired, there might be something you need to take notice to change in your life. Maybe there are reasons for that. Maybe you're not setting healthy boundaries. Maybe, and if it's a consistent basis, then that means that you need to be aware of what is getting to the root cause of it. And that's what we're going to explore in the next few sessions after this one. But this is the patterns because you begin to start making mental have notes throughout the day. Within the next 4 to 6 weeks, don't be surprised that you're going to walk down the street or you're going to be driving in your car or you're going to be at the grocery store and you start making mental notes. You still want to keep a record of it. You still want to write it down because you're always uncovering and learning new things so that you can improve upon them. You begin to see the patterns of what your stressors are. You begin to in order to better respond rather than react to them. And it's all about learning how to become emotionally responsive than it is emotionally reactive. And it helps develops a mental mindset of mindful awareness of those thoughts and emotions that are at play. And so as you do that, here's the takeaway. The have list is a very simple short form journaling that helps you develop this awareness of your stressors and how you are either reacting or responding to those stressors. The have list also inspires you because it is the foundation for the next 8 weeks of developing this mindfulness and awareness to manage stress, address de stressing emotions, and becoming emotionally resilient and responsive rather than reactive. And the call of action for the next 4 to 6 weeks is to start writing down your have list today. Start today. Start after you watch this session. Develop this discipline, and you begin to uncover those patterns as you become mindful and aware. And so, where does this leave us? In the next session, I'm going to go over what the comparing place is because naturally you now have the have list and what it is. If we have something, then that means that we have that there's something we want in relationship to that have list. And so I want to So that will be the next session. So we're going to build upon this and we're going to look at the comparing place. And that helps us shift our focus because once we understand what we have, then we start comparing it to what we want. So we can start taking action in resolving and managing stress in our lives. So I want to take this time to thank you for watching. If you want to support Sacred Sobriety, A Path for the Soul, the link to PayPal is in the description for the YouTube channel, and you can make a one-time donation or you can make a monthly donation. If you want to become a Patreon sponsor, you get a 7-day free trial for new members, and then it's $5.99 thereafter for each month. You can cancel that at any time. The becoming a Patreon sponsor means you get early access to any content, any course material, and exclusive benefits and exclusive content that are not going to be pushed out. And so this is going to help you and encourage you to improve your life, especially as Christians when we're dealing with struggles. If you feel stuck, this is going to help you because it's going to help you get unstuck. And so with that, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for subscribing. Hit the subscribe, share your thoughts in the comment section, and hit the no the bell for notifications for the next session if you want to really get in and improve your quality of life. And again, this is for personal enrichment, this is for education, this is for self-improvement. It is not meant to diagnose, it's not meant to provide professional or therapeutic advice. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, God bless. Remember, we are all living a mindful, crucified life through Jesus Christ, who is living through us because it is Him that lives and not us. Galatians 2:20.